True peace, kins and friends. I am QueeRaOpoo NoopooH, and I'm back with another video. But before I get into the video, I like to bring in the positive forces of NoopooH. NoopooH, NoopooH. Okay, so this video that I'm about to do is more of an update pertaining to what happened to, where I have some questions pertaining to what happened to an activist from Philly by the name of Mumia Jamal. But I'm gonna let you all see this video so you can have a more perspective on who he is, if you may not have heard of him.
Mumia Jamal is one of the United States of America's longest held political prisoners. Before that, he was just a kid named Wesley Cook growing up in Philadelphia with his little brother Willie. In school, during a class on African cultures, he took the name Mumia, a name that had been used by many Kenyans fighting colonialism in the Mau Mau uprising. During the 1968 election, segregationist mayor George Wallace was running as an independent candidate for president. His platform was literally just racism, and he got some of the highest numbers for an independent ever. There was a rally being held in Philadelphia, and Mumia attempted to interrupt it. They beat him, police, rally goers, random white people. There were no charges, they just beat him. After that, he dropped out of school and joined the Philadelphia branch of the Black Panthers. He rose to lieutenant of information and was a source of communication between party members. He would move around a little, first to New York City and then to Oakland, always doing Black Panther work wherever he went, and this put him on the COINTELPRO list. Eventually, he would actually leave the Black Panthers. He returned to school to get his GED and make some attempts at starting a family. In 1975, he began working at a radio station, becoming a host in 1978. In 81, he would be asked to resign because his reporting leaned too far left. Notably, his response to the Move 9, who were found guilty of murdering police officer James Ram. This would lead to him actually joining Move later that year while still working at a Black-owned radio station called WDAS. He was also working as a taxi cab driver, and on December 9, 1981, his life would change forever. Police officer Daniel Faulkner pulled over a vehicle that was being driven by William Cook, Mumia's younger brother. The car is his, it's registered to him. Mumia is driving by and he sees this. He gets out and ends up in a fight with the officer as well. Guns go off and both the officer and Mumia end up shot. Mumia goes to the hospital and Faulkner passes away at the scene. The trial is a mess. Nobody denies Mumia killed Faulkner, but the prosecution presented 4 witnesses with different stories and who didn't see the shooting and made a case that this was a setup, all while Mumia's brother refused to even testify. Robert Sherbert, another cab driver, said he was parked behind Mumia, who was waiting for Faulkner. Cynthia White said he was waiting from a parking lot and then walked up to shoot Faulkner. Michael Scanlon was 2 cars away but says he saw Jamal walking towards the altercation with a gun drawn. Albert Maggleton said he saw Faulkner pull over Cook but didn't see anything else. They brought in nurses who heard Mumia say he shot Faulkner, which he did, but that doesn't mean this was premeditated first-degree murder. Mumia wasn't even allowed to testify at his own trial. His brother kept telling people, I ain't got nothing to do with it. Mumia would go on to state, like many other Panthers, such as Eddie Conway, that he was not allowed a lawyer, even when many offered their services for free. Notably, one stood out in this case. Prominent lawyer and Move founder John Africa had offered to defend him, but the judge would not allow it. Amnesty International became involved as the prosecution presented a case in which Faulkner was ambushed. Not a case where Faulkner was in an altercation with William Cook. This ignored the storied history of Philadelphia police with both race-based brutality, corruption, and even fabricated evidence. They also used quotes from a teenage Mumia to paint him as a radical anarchist of sorts, not the adult who had been a journalist for the better part of his life, having worked for several NPR affiliates. They gave him the death penalty, and it wasn't until 2011 that it was dropped. While in prison, he's picked up some college degrees, provided segments to NPR, sued for a prisoner's right to get paid from publication of books he wrote, given commencement speeches through pre-recorded videos, and he's had work published all around the world. He'll be 71 on April 24, 2025, and he's still in prison for what many places would consider defense of self or others. He's still in prison when witnesses have recanted their testimonies. He's still in prison despite state courts admitting that he was only convicted due to a, quote, unfair application of federal law. He's still in prison despite the court ruling that instructions to the jury from the judge were intentionally confusing. He's still in prison despite district court stating he was the victim of a purposeful racial bias in jury selection. He's still in prison despite the judge who presided over review of the trial being reprimanded for their bias. Just free Mumia, people.
Okay. Now, after you hear all of that, it's plain to see, and also using reason, you can see that it was racial bias going on with the justice system. It always have been towards Black people. But the question I'm gonna ask, and I am using the TarBoOonooAanet deck. So the question I'm going to ask is, did Mumia Jamal shoot? I'm sorry. Did Mumia Jamal shoot Officer Daniel Faulkner in self-defense? Okay. The first card that came out is the Matter card, none in reverse. In upright. Wife of space, mother of time, universes, orbs, spirits, flesh, gods and goddesses, female and female, and all other male, female, neuter gender, consciousness, somethingness. Yeah. Yeah, he was a conscious brother. Yeah. This is basically surrounding all the things that matter to him. Being an activist and standing up for what's right. Based off of the biases of racial inequality. Yeah, okay. That explains what he was about, the Matter card. Okay, the second card that popped up in the upright, the Universe Genitals card. Ground, fire and air powers, production, transportation, protection, regulation, urges, motion, impulse, instinct, impregnation, pregnant, birth. Okay, so the universe genitals card, ground, fire, and air powers. Transportation. He was a cab driver. Protection. So therefore, this goes back to him protecting himself. They're not saying that he just automatically shot the officer for no reason. There's a reason behind everything. And when it comes down to reasoning, Europeans don't care about reasoning, especially when it comes to us as a race of people, because the main thing they want to do is crucify us. Then you have, okay, you have this being the genitals card, and that organ and that goes with March, Neptune today, genitals card. Let me reconfirm again. I know they said it, but I didn't write it down. When was Mumia Abu Jamal's birthday?
There are no records for Mumia Abdul Jamal's birthday. You might be thinking of Mumia Abu Jamal, who was born on April 24th, 1954.
Okay, so he was a Taurus. Okay. And even though, yeah, he was a Taurus. Okay, the third card that came out in the was this the left challenge. And the card that came out in the left challenge is good and bad spirit netta. Nafil bin Kakad. Okay, so okay, the card falls sideways to the left. And okay, so this card facing to the right, this is the ascending. This is the ascending direction, which means that this card and its challenge will possibly succeed. Okay, and what it says is cut. Sorry. Kagatha demons, original spirit gods and goddess, sovereign helps and harms persons, places, and things, controls masses of people, creates sciences, philosophies, pantheons, religions, occult orders, Masonic orders, cults. They've existed since the beginning of creation. They control the powers of nature, earth, wind, fire, and water. Divine powers, regardless of actions they commit in the world. Arms of the one supreme being. There you have it, see? So these people, they help to harm persons. That's what they did. They all worked together to harm Mumia Abu Jamal by giving him life in prison. And they have always controlled masses of people, mainly in their eyes, the minority, who is the black race. Yeah, that's what they work towards every day of their life. And they are occult orders, occult. The judges, the police, all of them belong to cults. Yeah, secret societies. And their main agenda is to keep black people down and to kill as many as possible if they can. So yeah, from the beginning of creation, yeah, they have existed from ever since they was living in their so-called castles and riding around on horses and boring arrows and their type of primitive weapons that they use before guns even came a factor of how to intimidate and control a group of people or anybody they want to intimidate, for that matter, by brandishing a gun. Divine powers regardless of actions. Yeah, they don't care. I mean, my thing is they don't adhere to karma. And you could tell they don't adhere to karma because if they did, they wouldn't do what they do. So because they do not adhere to the nature laws, they just act out their primitive scapegoatism agenda, which is once again barbarism. Yeah. Once again, that's what this card looked like. Okay, the last card that popped out is, and the upright is the TarBoOonooAanet NoopooH card. Balance. Yeah, he was balanced because he left the Black Panther Party. Then he became a journalist. And then from the journalist, he went back and he joined the Move 9. And that's when they say he became an enemy on the COINTELPRO list. Very quiet, fairness, naturally secretive, empath, strong intellect, teacher. Yeah, he was an activist. So therefore, with that, he's informing people of the injustices of what occurs towards the black race, pertaining to him being a journalist. Because they was against what he was writing about, especially if it's about them. Demons don't like to be exposed. Sudden wealth stops arguments, and that's what Mumia was doing when he was shot by the cop. He was shot by the cop and he returned fire. They don't care. They don't, and the thing about it, they denied him. They denied him a fair trial. They didn't even allow him to take the stand. Expansiveness, virtuous, studies, occult knowledge. Yeah. So therefore, he didn't just shoot that cop for no reason. It was a reason behind it. And that was the reason for this good and bad spirit card coming out and the ascending. So you have this card right here, the matter card, which deals with consciousness. You had the Universe Genitals card, which dealt with him being a transportation provider. He was a cab driver. Mhm. Very quiet. Yeah, because everything that was in his mind, he put it on paper. He created books and so forth. Fairness. Yeah, that's all he wanted. He wanted fairness due to how Black people was being treated by police and the judicial system. Yep, stopping arguments, which led up to the shooting. So, I mean, well, that includes, well, hold on. No, let me do something else. I'm going to ask, I was going to end it, but let me ask another question. Did the officer Daniel Faulkner shoot Mumia Jamal? Ooh. Whew. Okay. Okay. Card that popped out in the upright is Sir Ku and Sir Ka card. This is a movement card that keeps life moving from one point to another by the powers of the suns and their blood, called ethers in Noon science. This card provides protection of life as it moves and shields persons, places, and things from harm of various dangers. A card that keeps your organic life body regulated and safe from germs, diseases, and infections mentally, spiritually, and physically by fighting off the invisible and smallest invaders. And that's what he was doing. He was fighting off the cop. He was fighting off the cop who was being aggressive towards him. Okay, the second card that came out is the Phoenician Noon Kingdom card. This will be home only to all straight-haired people such as Arabs, Turks, Spaniards, Latino. After the 2025 cataclysm, all other races will be able to visit with Kingdom God chaperone for a limited time and must be escorted off the motherland until a later time. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, can I get clarification on the Phoenician Noon card? Ooh. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ah. The card that came out is NoopooH in reverse. So we already know that right there. NoopooH in reverse is NoopooH. Okay. Okay, you have it right here. The NoopooH card is the primary positive creator, grower of all the Sunniverses, universes. NoopooH is a positive only card in benevolent energies. NoopooH has a negative side, but they are not death energies. It does not function as a negative force at all. If the NoopooH card appears in reverse with the big circle card, that means you are asking about something that took place many years ago when NoopooH fell to death themselves 18 million years ago. Also, NoopooH is pointing to the past. The big circle card is the only force that NoopooH nor ZooPoo can resist. Its dominant direction to changing cycles for better or for worse. NoopooH is the best mind personality of the one supreme being. 9 reason is the highest reason there is, and NoopooH creates noon science. NoopooH protects the innocent and gives orders to the negative forces to bring justice by way of the suns, Jutar, Jupiter, and Saturn, who are minor suns in our solar system. And to give a little clarification, the planet Jutar, which is Jutar today, is a judgment planet. Yeah. And Satuna, which is Saturn today, is the karma planet. So, yeah, that's exactly what they are going to get. 7, 8, and 9 ether are life and life resurrecting energies from original creation. They have returned into our solar system through our three suns, November 23rd, 1926, which is the birth date of QueeRaOpoo, our philosophy messenger of noon science. Noopooh is the originator of the ancestors of the Ethiopian African race called Pygmies from Equatorial Africa. Noopooh are life-giving energies come by way of infrared light. Their energies are undetectable because of their status in brain newts, which are the highest grade of energies that can exist. 9 reason is the highest reasons that can exist. 9 is the highest positive number in known science, is pure mental intelligence. Let this be known. There you have it. So Zoopoo appearing in the reverse. Yeah. So Noopooh is going to handle that. Most definitely. Okay, the fourth card that came out in the reverse is the Universe and Testing card. Water powers, absorption powers, able to decompose, big issues mentally, physically, and spirituality issues into manageable situations. Provides powers of time, change, matter, and continuity, uninterrupted movement and change. Okay, here we go. In reverse, it's obstruction of movement, no growth, inflammation, pain, swelling, and irritation in your life if you don't fix it. Well, what's going on with Abu Jamal? They trying to fix it. Yeah, because they obstructing his movement. They not trying to release him. They're not trying to release him from prison. So therefore, he is what they will consider what they will call a political prisoner. No growth. Well, he don't really have no growth, but the main thing that continues to express his growth is through his writings. Inflammation, pain, and he have been sick several times in prison. Hepatitis C, they refused to treat that. They said one time he had COVID. So they've been trying to do everything they can in their power to kill him while he in prison. And he's still going strong. That's what you call strong as a bull, because he is a Taurus. If you want to get into the zodiac aspect of his astrological sign. So therefore, he has a very strong spirit, and that his spirit is strong as a bull. Swelling, irritation in your life. So yeah, that's what he has been having. He been going through all of that since he been locked up. They not trying to release him. They want him to die in prison. Okay, the last card that popped up in the reverse is the TarBoOonooAanet card. in reverse. These brain new god and goddess are creators of hearts and veins of the African race, and their original god parents from Lake Victoria. Another circulation card that supplies life and movement to persons, places, and things. This is also the base of spirit beings that they receive nutrition by causing excitement in human beings, positive or negative. In the upright, everything is good and healthy. So there you have it. Everything is not good and healthy in his case. That's why they trying to get him out of prison, because they not taking care of him health-wise. So yeah. I'm glad I went to the second question, because more came out, you know, especially with this card, NoopooH in the reverse. Yeah, NoopooH is going to take its course, most definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and even though this card is really to protect you from infectious diseases, yeah, NoopooH brought him through. He was protected. He was protected by the positive spirits of nature. Yeah, yeah. Then you have the TarBoOonooAanet and the QueeRaOpoo card in reverse that just basically okay, that was reverse. Okay, let me do a little bit more into that. The QueeRaOpoo card. Okay, here we go. Gotta get it right, my people. Okay, the QueeRaOpoo and the QueeRaOpoo card in the upright ensures everything is traveling with no blockages, mentally, spiritually, physically, organically, and economically. A cardiac type of card that carries life to all parts of the human being's lifestyle and supports balancement to all location in the body of the African race. Okay, this is what we need right here. In the reverse, this signifies clogging and restrictive flow to key points, and eventually decay and death sets in if the issue isn't fixed. There you go. That right there, that goes back to what I said about his health. His health is not in good standing, and but by the positive forces of nature, he is hanging on. So that, my people, includes my reading. I am, once again, QueeRaOpoo. And as far as video, please comment, share, like, subscribe, and you will see me on my next video. Thank you for joining. True peace, kins and friends.